Former Secretary of State and current presidential candidate Hillary Clinton spent most of the day, nearly 11 hours of it, testifying under oath in front of the House Benghazi committee. The panel is investigating the 2012 attack on a U.S. diplomatic building in Libya.
4 Americans were killed. They were Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Glenn Doherty, and Tyrone Woods. Now, the hearing often turned testy, with many House members attacking Clinton and each other. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now in studio with word on whether any new information was uncovered. Dave?
Juan, Lena, after weeks of buildup and in the midst of what's already becoming a heated battle for the presidency, as you heard, the House Benghazi committee spent 11 hours grilling former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the leading Democratic presidential candidate. A hearing that was filled with testy exchanges. Things started amicably enough when former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton shook hands with members of the House Benghazi committee.
Why were there so many requests for more security personnel and equipment, and why were those requests denied in Washington? What did our leaders in Washington do or not do, and when?
But the goodwill didn't last long.
Well, I think if you look at the statement that I made, I clearly said that it was an attack.
Calling it an attack is like saying the sky's blue. Of course it was an attack.
4 Americans, including U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens, were killed in the September 11th, 2012 terrorist attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya.
I have been racking my brain about what more could have been done.
Republicans responded that Clinton ignored requests from Ambassador Stevens for more security before the attacks.
Did you ever personally speak to him after you swore him in May? Yes or no, please?
You know, Congresswoman, look, I appreciate, and I really do, the passion and the intensity of your feelings about this. We have diplomatic facilities in war zones. We have ambassadors that we send to places that have been bombed and attacked all the time.
And you're their boss. Is that correct?
You're right, I am.
But when Committee Chair Trey Gowdy questioned Clinton about a dozen emails from her friend Sidney Blumenthal, the discussion veered off track.
Did the president know that Mr. Blumenthal was advising you?
He wasn't advising me. And, you know,
Did he know that he was your most prolific emailer that we have found on the subjects of Libya and Benghazi?
I don't know what this line of questioning does to help us get to the bottom of the deaths of 4 Americans.
I'll be happy to help you understand that, Madam Secretary. It's relevant because our ambassador was asked to read and respond to Sidney Blumenthal's drivel. It was sent to him to read and react to. In some instances, on the very same day he was asking for security.
Democrats had heard enough and vented about their Republican committee members to Clinton.
So I don't know what we want from you. Do we want to badge you over and over again until you get tired, until we do get the gotcha moment that he's talking about? We're better than that. We are so much better. We're a better country. And we're better than using taxpayer dollars to try to destroy a campaign. That's not what America is all about.
When Clinton was asked by Burbank Congressman Adam Schiff about the insinuation by Republicans that she deliberately interfered with security that cost the lives of Americans, this was her response.
Well, Congressman, it's a very personally painful accusation. It has been rejected and disproven by nonpartisan, dispassionate investigators, but nevertheless, having it continued to be bandied around is deeply distressing to me. You know, would imagine I've thought more about what happened than all of you put together.
After the hearing finally ended, Congressman Schiff questioned whether it was really worth 11 hours.
We really didn't learn anything that the other 8 investigations hadn't covered. For all the talk about the 50 witnesses we interviewed and all the emails that we saw, there was really nothing that my colleagues could point to that was new.
When asked about that after the hearing, even Committee Chair Trey Gowdy couldn't point to anything new either.
I think some of Jimmy Jordan's questioning, well, when you say new today, I mean, we knew some of that already. We knew about the emails. In terms of her testimony, I don't know that she testified that much differently today than she has the previous time she's testified.
Well, after the recent flap over Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy's comments indicating that the Benghazi committee's takedown of Hillary Clinton was a key achievement of GOP leadership, the Republicans are under scrutiny at today's hearing as much as Clinton. And Lena, while she may not have come away completely unscathed, it's not clear the Republicans did either.